Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, take two.
Take two.
Yeah, again. These gremlins. And here we see this man holding onto his roof. I guess trying to keep his roof on from flying off. And this is Hurricane Eta that hit Nicaragua as a Category 4 storm with 140-mile-an-hour winds at landfall. However, it is just basically a tropical storm area right now, but the curious part is the path it's going to take, as it has been saturating Central America for quite a while. As we see this load up, look at the path.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing that could happen here is if it just dissipates.
Yeah, exactly. Poofed. Go. Bye. And massive wind shear, tear it up. We don't need another storm. We've had plenty of storms this year. It's been just so record-setting. So it looks like it's going to take a path where it's going to go over Cuba and then head towards Florida and perhaps southwest Florida. Some of my old haunts, Port Charlotte and Sarasota, Venice, Nokomis, places that I really enjoyed.
Yes.
And if we look at the spaghetti models, there is some variation, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. You got a couple that are showing it swinging way out and then actually having more of a Carolina or Georgia landfall, and these over here show it going over to the eastern side, the Atlantic side of Florida. And we're really going to have to watch this one because, it's showing that it could be like a Category 1, but in these days, how many times do we see a Category 1 turn into a Category 4 in like a blink of an eye?
Often.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. 2020 has been the year of the incredible.
It sure has.
Yeah, like last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yet we saw this coming exactly, and we'll get into the election. We'll get into that in another video later today. So, giant iceberg nearly the size of South Georgia, and that's an island down there in the South Atlantic, and it's owned by the UK. And we see here a huge iceberg from the Antarctic that is the size of a small country is approaching towards the island of South Georgia, triggering concerns that it could affect the economy and the wildlife of the British territory. Iceberg A68A, which is the same size as South Georgia itself, separated itself from the Larsen Sea ice shelf and the eastern side of Antarctica's peninsula in July 2017. So almost 3.5 years later, it's still out there. It's currently 93 miles long and 30 miles wide, about 500 kilometers away from the island, making its way towards it.
That's really huge.
It is, and when we're talking about the Antarctic ice sheet, potential huge impacts for the entire globe, especially on the eastern side. If that ever went, we'd have a huge raising of sea levels.
Yeah, there'd be an issue.
And then on the western side, we have tons of volcanic activity underneath it, which is melting the western side more than the eastern side. And how about 6 months worth of rain in a day in Brazil?
I'm really feeling for these people.
Yeah, incredible. As you see here, first off, you got the guy climbing up onto the roof. We've seen people on the roof of houses and cars. Yeah, it's just incredible. 11.4 inches in 24 hours. That's equivalent to about half a year's rain. So, that's an area that's not really what we would call like a rainforest. If half a year is 11 inches of rain, that's really wild.
I know, it's almost like the sky just opened up and dumped.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what we're seeing. There's videos here for you guys to see. Cars swept away, of course. You're going to have more people with not having their homes usable.
Let's send them prayers.
Think about it, too. One of the problems that develops when things get saturated like this is mold, which can cause a lot of health issues later on as well. So you have 300 people that were left homeless after the floods were triggered by the massive rains. And we have another new locust infestation going on that's hitting southern Africa. 45 million people are at risk for food shortage. We've seen a lot of this year all over the globe as well.
It keeps happening, yes.
It just keeps happening. And it's, again, this perfect storm of like everything at the same time. And I keep going back to the August 2017 first part of the X marks the spot with the 2 eclipses. It really seems, because right after that, then we had 3 hurricanes, boom, boom, boom.
And that one volcano in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, and we had Kilauea going. There's been some interesting swarms over at Kilauea that people have been watching, and then there's also there's water building, which is not a good sign up there in the caldera as well. And so we have new lava flows at a submarine volcano near Mayotte, and this is off of the coast of Africa. And this is something we've been watching too, and ultimately the East Kenyan Rift is going to go, and again, scientists will tell us that's going to come in millions of years. But will it? Or will it be something that comes rapidly? So we see the area here. You have Madagascar right there, and it's just interesting to think about the changes that are going on all around the globe. It's going to be a different world. What will it look like in 10 years, 20 years? What will the U.S. look like in 5 years?
Pieces and pieces.
Yeah, the inevitable splitting, perhaps. It just, when you look at it, there's just such division that it seems insurmountable for the masses. There's individuals that can transcend, but it just seems that so many are still so just divided.
And caught up in the chaos, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely caught up in the chaos. And so we have cold records breaking as well. India, over in Delhi, shivers through unusual cold, records the coldest October since 1962. So, yeah, that's one of the records going. There's records everywhere just being crushed when you think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
And we have extreme blizzard conditions, dropping record amount of snow and ice across Alaska and the Yukon as well.
No, I feel that. That's cold.
Yeah, and of course, in the area we've been in recently, we had that massive, Arctic blast came, and wow, it was cold. But then now, I think it's back to being kind of above normal.
Yeah, it was really strange how that happened.
Yeah, the weather's been fabulous since that. Yeah. Before that and after it, it's been wonderful, and I hope it's wonderful where everybody is over there as well, out there with you guys. And here we see astronomers find cosmic radio burst source, at least in this one instance, because these fast radio bursts have been things that they haven't been able to identify. And a lot of people, even some scientists, think, well, maybe it's communications going on with ET civilizations, extraterrestrial civilizations out there. But in this case, they say it's just a certain type of star. That's it. Oh, bummer.
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, you mean they would actually cover something up?
They might.
Yeah, so this is a star called a magnetar. And they say it's 32,000 light years from Earth, according to 4 studies in Wednesday's journal Nature. And it's not only the first fast radio burst traced to a source, but the first emanating from our galaxy. Astronomers say there could be other sources for these bursts, but they are now sure about one guilty party, magnetars. And these are incredibly dense neutron stars with 1.5 times the mass of our sun squeezed into a space the size of Manhattan.
Wow.
That's dense. Mm-hmm. That is very, very dense. And I hear people making some jokes out there about denseness and election results.
Oh, yeah.
So interesting. At least this one time it was, well, apparently not ETs.
I don't know. We'll see.
So guys, thank you so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. And we want to thank our newest Patreon, John, for his support. Thank you so much. As always, guys, God bless. Stay prepared. Namaste.
Namaste.